Amanda, you're muted.
Thank you for that, Matt. Sorry about that. Welcome everybody to the Virginia Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. So we've got some really fantastic schools here with us today, and we will have about 6 minutes to share more about their institution. But in the meantime, we'll go around that entire session and answer those questions. So my name is Amanda, and I will be your facilitator. And before we get started, I do want to do a few housekeeping items, just so you all know. So please make sure your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time, and they'll be able to see that and respond. And this is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on our website. And just so you all know, this presentation is being recorded and will be available through our website at strivescan.com/Virginia. And so with that, I do want to be able to turn it over to our hosts. And we will get started here in just 1 second with our first person from Southern New Hampshire University.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. Let me share my screen. Have I done so successfully? Now I can't see any of you, so I'm going to say that's a yes. So hello, my name is Christian Mock. I'm a regional director at Southern New Hampshire University, sometimes referred to as SNHU or SNU. I work with students, community colleges, and corporate partners in New England, New York, and Virginia. I'm excited to be here tonight to provide you with a brief overview of SNU and answer any questions you might have. Oops. Our university started in 1932 as a night school in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. At the time, we were catering to adults who were unable to attend traditional day classes. Since then, we've grown and adapted to our students' needs. We have about 3,000 students on our campus in Manchester. And I'm sharing the wrong screen. Sorry, I'm going to stop my share for a moment. I apologize. I want to share this screen. There we go. No, am I? I'm terribly sorry. Could I ask someone to confirm what screen you see?
Yeah, absolutely. So we see the what's so special about SNHU slide.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'm really sorry about that. So we have about 3,000 students on our main campus and 100,000 more students globally through our online programming. We are a private nonprofit university, which means we measure our success by our learner success. We consistently work to keep our tuition costs low and find new ways to deliver on our mission, which is to expand access to education through tuition freezes, innovation, and philanthropic efforts. We are accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education. And we do have a long history of rethinking education to meet the needs of learners, from working adults to military service members and beyond. Once again, in 2021, we were named by U.S. News and World Report as one of the most innovative colleges in America. And we actually launched our online program in 1995 at the time to give active duty military service members a way to pursue an education while serving their country. And to this day, we continue to offer discounts for service members, both full and part-time, as well as their spouses. We do all this through what we consider to be one of the best student experience teams in higher education. Our admission counselors are there to help make your application process worry-free. We have dedicated academic advisors who are assigned to you throughout the duration of your program. Once you've been admitted, your academic advisor will help you with enrollment and is there for you when you have any questions about your program. Our career advisors help you as you near the end of your program, getting you ready to meet your career goals. We have resume help, mock interviews, virtual career fairs, and all of this is backed up by a host of student resources for learning, tutoring, technology, 24/7 online library, one-on-one tutoring services, anything and everything you need to be successful at SNU. We also accept up to 90 transfer credits towards a 120 credit bachelor's degree. So if you decide that your first step is a community college in the Virginia system, you could end up transferring up to 3/4 of your degree already to SNU. And by transferring those credits, you are saving yourself time and money towards your bachelor's. So if you're transferring in one course or a full degree, all of that will help make the process a little faster and a little less expensive for you. We also have a variety of discounted tuition opportunities. If you do attend a school in BCCS, if you become a member of the Honor Society, the PTK Society, or if you are a child or a employee of one of our corporate partners, we have discounting opportunities there for you as well. We have programs in all kinds of subjects, so you can prepare yourself for a career in nearly any field. Our 200 programs are designed by subject matter experts and taught by industry professionals, so you can be confident that you'll be ahead of the curve and you'll have those in-demand skills when you hit the ground running. And we help you be competitive in that job market by giving you hands-on projects to build your resume, to develop your portfolio. And we endeavor to offer the same student experience, whether you choose to come to campus or whether you choose to be online. Our campus is home to more than 75 recognized clubs. We are a D2 sports school. We have the Greek life. Our online students have access to an area we call SNU Connect, which is a private community that is built specifically for our online students, offering networking opportunities, clubs, webinars, and give you the chance to interact in a more informal setting. And if you decide SNU is for you, our website is on the screen. I'll leave it up with the last few moments of my time. You can poke around there. I always encourage prospective students to stay in touch with your guidance counselor or a transfer advisor to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to be successful in your next step. And also part of my job, I take emails from prospective students all the time, get people connected where they need to go, look at transcripts, whatever needs to be done. And that is my time, and I appreciate your patience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christian. Next up, we have Ashley Willis from Merrimack College.
Thank you. And I am also going to share my screen. Awesome. So hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ashley Willis. I'm a senior assistant director at Merrimack College. So kind of before I dive into the main information, kind of the main takeaways that I would love for everyone to remember about Merrimack is these are really the primary things that we are focused on in terms of what we are providing you in your educational experience. We're very focused on the majors and career, the majors that you're choosing and the careers that they're preparing you for, focusing on what is happening in the industry, what employers are looking for, as well as what you're interested in studying. Focusing on scholarships to ensure that Merrimack can be an affordable education for you, focusing on support so that you can be successful in your college journey and have all of the supports in place academically, socially, community-based that you need to be successful, and really focusing on making your experience at Merrimack and in college in general a really transformative one. So a little bit more about who we are and where we're located. We are located in North Andover, Massachusetts, which is about 30 minutes north of Boston. We're right, where that gold star is on the map. This is an overview picture of our campus. So as you can see from that, we're only 30 minutes outside of the city, so you do have easy access to Boston and many of the resources that come with the city in terms of easy access, internships, all of those things. But our actual campus is in a suburban area, and you have that very traditional New England campus community experience. Diving into some other information about us, we are a Catholic Augustinian institution. Does not mean you need to be Catholic to attend. What's more important about that heritage is the Augustinian values that really frame our campus community. And those Augustinian values are focused in service, community, and lifelong learning. And so those really frame sort of the experiences that our students are having on campus. We do have over 100 different academic programs across 5 schools. 5 schools listed sort of in the center there: our School of Business, Health Sciences, Liberal Arts, Science and Engineering, and Education and Social Policy. So a lot to choose from in terms of what to study. And we do have a very flexible curriculum. So many students are able to double major or do a major and a minor, and not always within the same school. So you might be a business major and doing a minor in science and engineering. We offer a lot of that flexibility and advising to help you really craft what it is that you're interested in and work towards those goals. We have about 4,000 undergraduate students and an additional 1,400 grad students, so just over 5,000 total. That puts us in the small to medium size range. In your academic experience, we are very focused on the small school experience. Our average class size is 22 and our student faculty ratio is 16:1. We don't have any large lecture hall style classes, so you're always in that kind of traditional classroom setting. You have a lot of opportunity to really get to know your faculty as well as the other students in your program. But that doesn't mean the rest of your kind of social life on campus needs to be limited. We do have Division I athletics, research opportunities on campus, a lot of internship opportunities. Just under 90% of students complete an internship while they are a student with us, many of those in the Boston area or in other major cities, or in some of the smaller businesses around our campus. So it's really that good mix of a small school academic experience mixed with many of the resources of a larger institution, which definitely comes together for students, as we do have a 96% career outcomes rate, which means that our graduates are either employed or in graduate school within 9 months of graduation. And don't just, take it from me. Merrimack has undergone quite a bit of growth over the last 5 to 10 years, really expanded our student body. And I know I just said a lot of numbers and a lot of things to think about. So we include the rankings primarily to know that growth and those achievements that our students are having are being recognized outside of just our campus community. These are some of best colleges for your money, best regional universities, some of those ways that those achievements are being recognized. Thinking about the application process, I know anyone watching is probably a junior or even younger, so this is thinking ahead, but just to know what to expect in the application process, Merrimack is on the Common App, so you can certainly apply there or through our online application. We just require your high school transcript, your secondary school report, which is basically a summary of your high school. Your counselor will submit that on your behalf, and one letter of recommendation. We don't have an application fee, so it is free to apply, and we don't require SAT or ACT scores at all. We're actually test blind, so that means that we're just telling you up front that we don't use those standardized testing scores in our process. That does include our nursing program as well. These are some of the deadlines. You don't have to worry about these quite yet, but these are our timelines in terms of thinking about, if you want to apply in the fall, in January, and then we have rolling admissions through the remainder of the year after that. And tuition fees, which I know is, the least exciting part to think about, but certainly important. Our total tuition fees listed up in the corner there, right around $64,000. Know that is not the reality of what students are really paying to come to Merrimack. 99% of incoming students do receive a merit scholarship that you don't need to apply separately for. We review for that automatically as part of the admission process. And then those are some average numbers of tuition fees and room and board after aid. Very hard to work with averages in the financial aid conversation, but point being is that the majority of our students are receiving aid, and Merrimack is often a more affordable option for students. So I know that I am just about out of time. This is our contact information. I, of course, will answer questions here, but definitely feel free to reach out anytime as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Next up, we've got Jason from the University of Stirling.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for giving up a bit of your time tonight to come hang out. My name is Jason Vine, the International Recruitment Manager for the University of Stirling, based in Stirling, Scotland. Now, if you can't tell, I don't mean to disappoint everybody, but this accent is not Scottish at all. I'm straight out of Baltimore. However, the US system was not the best system for me, and I ended up starting in the US and transferring over to Scotland. So we'll get into maybe a couple of the reasons why that might be a best fit for you in just a second. A couple of housekeeping things. It is just past 10 p.m. at night, so forgive me if I seem a little bit tired, but if I don't explain anything as much as you need, or if I skip over something that you want to hear about, or if something catches your fancy, there is a QR code at the bottom of every screen. Give it a scan with your phone, pop your details in, and that way we can continue the chat. Don't worry, I won't spam you. I just don't have time. Right, so moving on, we're going to catch BA flight. BA 215 flight from Dulles over to Edinburgh, and oh my goodness, we are already here, the marvels of modern day technology. Now, if anybody's not been fortunate enough to come to Scotland before, or if you have, you might have visited Edinburgh, which is the capital. Glasgow is the largest city in Scotland. The city of Stirling is located right in the middle of them. So you've got about a 35-minute train ride that costs £8 to get to either mega city. Stirling is a little bit of a smaller city in the foothills of the Scottish Highlands. So it's a beautiful scene set up against the backdrop of some mountains. So it's quite fun. About an hour flight to London, a little bit longer if you want to get to the continent. A quick flight, less than an hour over to Belfast if you're wanting to pop over to Northern Ireland and check out the Irish island. COVID permitting, hopefully we're all watching the worldwide situation. So hopefully things will let up and students will be able to travel a little bit more. A couple of quick facts about Stirling. We are top 30 in the UK, so you have quite a fabulous academic ranking and reputation to help you look for jobs or grad schools, either in the UK, across Europe, or if you want to come back to the US to pursue job opportunities or master's degrees here. Fabulous academic reputation to help support you with that. We were the UK's university sports university of the year in 2020 with more student athlete Olympians. The most decorated one is Duncan Scott, who won 4 medals in the past Olympics. In 2018, there's a documentary coming out. So if you want to get a good look at the Stirling swimming pool, you can certainly check out that documentary. But we're a medium-sized university, about 14,000 students. Most of that is undergrad, so you're in good company, and we have about 1,000 students from the US on campus at any given time. So if you need a taste of home without actually catching a flight, you can certainly find it. We do a big Thanksgiving dinner, a big Super Bowl party, so you can get those touches of home without being in a US bubble while you're abroad. A bird's eye view of campus. We are the youngest Scottish university, founded in 1967. So campus looks very US style. So we have a lock just in the middle of campus, Air 3 lock. If you call it a lake, be prepared to get made fun of. If you're a fan of Outlander, you've actually seen campus and not actually realized it. So they shot quite a few scenes when they're supposed to be at Harvard. They were actually at Stirling. And then in season 3, I think it is, when Brianna is exploring university options and she's watching students protest or having a discussion about Scottish independence. That was actually shot in the Pathfoot building, which is the building at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So check out Outlander if you want to see some beautiful shots of campus. Sam Hewen, who plays Jamie, is actually an alumni of Stirling. I think he's in a picture of the slide, but you've got everything you need, from student dorms to a campus doctor to a pharmacy on campus, as well as a £20 million Olympic elite sporting facilities that all students have access to. As far as undergraduate degree offerings, a wide range of degrees that you would probably expect to see from a US university. When you apply to a Scottish university, you're not applying to the university, you have to apply directly to a degree. Now, the US system is loosely based on the Scottish, so it's a 4-year undergrad, just like it would be in the US, but the main difference is that there are no gen eds. So if you're a science and math student, you will never have to take an English class ever again. If you're an English, film, history student, you will never have to take a math class ever again, which is a big draw. So no gen eds, but you still have a wide depth and breadth of degree offerings at your fingertips. Entry requirements, we do have an American football team on campus, with thus the image, but entry requirements are actually quite transparent, because entry requirements are not a holistic review like it could be in the US. Entry requirements are going to be strictly based on your grades. So we don't really collect that much information about your personal life. So we are test optional for students whose access to testing has been affected by COVID. So we're looking for a 3.0 unweighted GPA from your high school transcript. We're going to check to make sure that the classes that you've done well in are relevant to the degree that you apply to. So if you're looking for science and math degrees, hopefully you've done well in your science and math classes. If you have been able to take tests and you've done well and you want to submit them that way, that certainly involves less review on our part. So decisions are a little bit quicker. but either an ACT with 26, an SAT with a 1200, or 2 APs with a score of 3 or above. We only ask for one of those 3, and either the SAT or ACT cannot be super scored if you want to submit them. In addition, we're looking for an academic reference, not a character reference, as well as a personal statement. The undergrad application process, you will see Stirling on the Common App. The UK's version of the Common App is UCAS, so you can apply either or method. Please don't use both. And then we do have scholarships. So £2,000 scholarships. If you meet that 3.0 minimum threshold, you're eligible for a £2,000 tuition discount, which is renewable for all 4 years. We are registered with FAFSA, so any financial aid or student loans that you are planning to use will come right over just like they would with a US university. Any questions that you might have, scan the code and get in touch with me over email. Hope to chat with you guys soon. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Jason. Next up, we've got Roxanne from Lincoln Memorial University.
Hi, give me just a second to share my screen. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
All right. I'm Roxanne from Lincoln Memorial Admissions Office. This is my intro page. It is an aerial view of our campus. We are set in the Appalachian Mountain region, so we're right where Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky meet. I'll go through some of these slides, and there's a map that kind of shows you where we are in relation to other things. We are level 6 accredited by the SACS COC, and over 90% of our students receive some type of financial aid. We do merit-based scholarships out of our admissions office. Those range anywhere from $6,000 to $12,500 based on GPA and ACT. We were voted safest campus in America in 2019. The Tennessee State Police Department is actually located on our campus. So we have them patrolling, and we also have our own campus security. So I think our students feel really safe there. I was a student there myself. I never felt uncomfortable being at campus. So I think that's really important. Here's some quick Lmu facts. Our average GPA for incoming freshmen is a 3.49. Average ACT, SAT is a 22 and an 1100. But our guaranteed acceptance, so if you apply, you know that you're going to get accepted, is a 3.2 GPA and a 19 on your ACT. And if you don't have that, then it just kind of goes to our committee. And then we have about 1,600 undergrad students. Our total enrollment is closer to 5,000. That is including undergrad, graduate, and professional students. So we have about 30 plus majors on campus. We offer a lot of different array of choices for students, 14-to-1 student faculty ratio, and our average class size is about 25. Most of the time, unless it's a general education course, it's even smaller than that in my experience. But so these are the different undergrad schools that we offer. So we kind of separate them by category. We have School of Education, Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, Engineering, Nursing, School of Business, which is where I graduated from, School of Math and Science, and Allied Health. We do have a full med school on our campus, and we also have a vet school and a law school. So we do have several professional degrees and all the undergraduate pathways to achieve those degrees. Here is a map of where we are located centrally to other things. So it kind of shows you where we are close to Roanoke. Most people know where Pigeon Forge is because a lot of people like to vacation there. We're about an hour and a half from there. So we are pretty centrally located to some fun things around us. So this is some stuff on the horizon at LMU for this coming up fall. We'll have vet health industry, which it has kind of like a minor in business, so you can kind of run your own vet clinic kind of thing. Vet animal science, if you're wanting to work in the vet food industry or anything like that. And then we're going to have engineering. And as far as professional degrees, we are going to have a dental school, which is going to be located in Knoxville, Tennessee. So this is our guaranteed professional admission program. I'm going to try to sum it up pretty quick because there is a lot of facets to this program, but in a nutshell, it's for highly achieving, highly motivated high school students. that want to gain admission to a professional school of their choice. So if you meet the requirements for, because there is an application that you apply for whenever you apply to our school, if you meet those requirements and the professional school pulls your application and you get picked for an interview and you maintain your requirements through undergrad, you are guaranteed a spot in our professional school. If you don't know much about professional school, this is a pretty big deal to have a guaranteed spot. So we are pretty proud of this program. Here's some things about LMU, some stuff we have around campus, buffet style cafeteria. We are NCAA Division II. We have 25 different athletic teams, and we have 30 plus application-based, academic-based, and interest-based clubs and organizations. Here's some resources that will be available to you on campus. The one that I like the most, I think it's on the next slide, is our Office of Career Services. They kind of do the mock interviews, get you kind of set up for more of a real life experience. We have an office dedicated to student activities and campus recreation to make sure that students are having fun on campus. And we do put an emphasis on inclusion and diversity because we do have a pretty broad international student ratio. So here's the Office of Career Services. And then one thing that is super helpful is our TAGI Center, which is our tutoring on campus. It is free, and it's students that have made A's in those classes that are there to tutor and help you through the different classes because they've had the professors, they know what the classes are like. Here's some scholarships and grants that we offer. Legacy Scholarship, if somebody has attended in your family, want to get through these because I know I'm getting close to the time. Our application is free to apply. No essay, we are test optional. And then if you scan the QR code and you want to learn more about LMU, it will pull up an inquiry form for us to send you more information. And then there's my contact information. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much, Roxanne. And then last up, we have Caitlin from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. My name is Caitlin. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Umbc. I'll make sure to drop my contact information into the chat before we leave today, just in case you have follow-up questions. I know 6 minutes is not a ton of time. So to start, if you're not familiar with Umbc, you might be wondering where we're located. Our name by default kind of gives it away. We're located in Baltimore County, but more specifically, we're located in Catonsville, Maryland. So Catonsville is about 20 to 30 minutes away from Baltimore city limits and also about 45 minutes to an hour away from DC, depending on the traffic. But as you can see from the picture here, being in Catonsville allows us a lot of space. Our campus is over 400 acres. Hilltop Circle in itself is like one big bubble. So everything that you need is wrapped up on campus. And it's also very walkable, even though it is large. So you can get from residential communities to academic buildings to tutoring spaces really easily. You don't need a car, you can't use a car in the actual campus because it's so easy to navigate. So that's definitely a perk for our students, just in terms of the day-to-day scheduling and logistics. But again, we are still really close to Baltimore and DC, so students can take advantage of everything that's there and then come back to their home base. If you're available for a tour, my biggest piece of advice is always to actually see the campus. So we're running tours through the week, and on Saturdays, you're more than welcome to come and see the campus for yourself, get your feet on the ground, meet some retrievers, and just get some good perspectives. We're a school of about 11,000 undergraduate students. We also have 3,000 graduate students on campus as well. But one thing that you hear from a lot of current UMBC students is that we have kind of like a Goldilocks effect. It's not too big. You're not going to be swimming in lecture halls all the time. You don't have to try very hard to connect with your faculty members, but you also do have all the resources of a big school. We consistently bring in about $80 to $100 million in research funding every year. We have great partnerships with agencies like the NSA and NASA and Lockheed Martin and big employers in our area. And we're also number 6 in the nation for undergraduate teaching. So we have some excellent faculty members who are really dedicated to the student experience. So you get kind of like the best of both worlds. In terms of academics, we have over 100 different programs that you can pursue, ranging from majors to minors to certificate programs and pre-professional tracks and things like pre-med and pre-nursing. You'll see a lot of students will double major or double minor. So if you've got a couple different passions, as many students do, you might be able to squeeze them all into a 4-year degree. Another important thing to note is just generally that there are a couple kind of top majors at UMBC that are most popular amongst our students. Those are going to be majors like computer science, engineering, biological sciences, psychology, global studies. But again, it's kind of your oyster in terms of what you're choosing. You can mix and match as you please. Our SGA president is doing a dance BFA and the pre-med track. So you can choose what works best for you. We also really stress applied learning for our students. We try and build that in as much as possible. About 82% of our students will do an internship, a research project, or education abroad in their time at UMBC. And if you're coming in as a first-year student, you can certainly do more than one of those things. So I know typically when students hear that we have 11,000 students, there's 2 ways that you can feel about it. Either you're like, oh, that's not very much, or that might be kind of intimidating. And I totally get that. There's a couple different ways that you can break this down. So the first way is the Honors College. It's about 500 students on the campus, so 5% of our population, just about. And all of these students are in a cohort. The Honors College focuses on 3 things. So it focuses on curriculum, community, and connection. So these students take honors seminars. These are really small classes. They focus on that discussion-oriented experience, and it's only for Honors College students. So you're going to see the same students over and over, and you're going to see the same faculty members over and over too. They also have the opportunity to live together in a living and learning community, which is really cool. And by default, that gives you a family like from day one. We also have 7 scholars programs at UMBC, and these are cohorts of students who are all kind of on the same path. One example would be the Center for Women in Technology, or CWIT, which is geared towards women-identified students in STEM fields or in tech fields like comp sci and engineering, or the Sherman Teacher Scholars Program, which is geared towards students who want to teach in Baltimore. So as you can see, very specific groups of people, but it allows us to provide very specific support. And they all also come with scholarships as well, which is awesome. And then lastly, our students work hard, but they play hard too. So we have over 250 different student-led clubs on campus. We have Student Events Board that puts on awesome programming and things like free outdoor movies and yoga classes, just so students always have something to do. And again, we're really close to DC and Baltimore, so students will hop in for brunch and farmers markets and all different kinds of things just to fill up their weekends. So if you have more questions, I'll pop my email into the chat. So thank you for being here.
Great. Thanks so much, Caitlin. At this time, I'm going to ask if all of our presenters and panelists will turn their cameras back on, and we'll jump into a couple of questions with our last remaining moment. So just as a reminder, you can add some questions into the Q&A if you have questions specifically for these panelists. But the first question that I have is going to go to all of you, but we'll start with Christian and we'll go down the order that we presented in. But what is one thing that you want students to remember about your school?
I'm going to say it's the experience you have here. I'm an alum of our grad program, and just the support you have from day one through to the end is just phenomenal, as I'm sure we all offer. Just that sense of belonging once you're here.
I would say from Merrimack, something I really always want students to remember is that our focus is really on student support and helping you to find your place in the community, find your place in academics, and really be successful. We really guide students through the process, kind of meeting them where they're at. So if you feel really academically prepared but need help, finding your sub community on campus or the other way around, the advisors that we have on campus really focus on, meeting whatever your needs are.
Yeah, I'd say I think a lot of people have the misconception that studying internationally or studying abroad is just for rich kids. And I don't necessarily think that's true. And I didn't get it in the presentation, but I just wanted to mention that if you're doing an arts degree at the University of Stirling, you're looking at a tuition cost of just over 21,000 US dollars, and that's without any kind of scholarship or aid. And if you're looking at the hard science classes with the lab, just over 25,000 US dollars.
Can you all hear me?
Oh, you muted.
One thing that I would think that people would remember about LMU as a student there is that it is a more personal education experience. It was a really easy transition for me. I came from a really small high school, and it was more, I knew my professors, they knew me, and I never felt like they were just kind of throwing me to the wayside. And there's plenty of resources there on campus if you are struggling to get you through the years of college. So that's one thing I would think would be a good thing to remember LMU by.
I would say a couple things to keep in mind about UMBC. Again, we're number 6 in the nation for undergraduate teaching. So the caliber of education that you're getting is an honors university level education, but we're also a best value institution. If you look at our cost of attendance, it's affordable, whether you're looking at out of state or in state. And again, as a little follow-up, make sure you connect with financial aid if you have questions about that. The sooner you can connect, the more information you can get, the less stressful it will be.
Amazing. Thank you, Caitlin. It's a good segue into my next question. So what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We'll start again with Christian.
Next time we got to go reverse order. I will say you've got to visit when you can. I think you've got to really make sure that where you end up is a place that speaks to you, that really takes into account who you are, but in the most well-rounded way possible.
My advice is always to keep an open mind about what schools you're considering and in your search process. It can be really easy to think of yourself as, and I'll use myself as an example. I totally thought I wanted to go to school in the city and I was like going to have this wonderful city life. That didn't happen, but where I ended up was great. And I later moved to the city and discovered like I'm not a city person at all. So sometimes, what you think is going to be best isn't necessarily going to be the right thing. And so, through visiting and talking with your admissions counselors and your parents and all of those experiences, like really keep an open mind about different types of institutions, because you might land somewhere you didn't expect, but that is actually a great fit for you.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage you to remember while you're examining all the different amenities that might be available to you on campus, look at the exchange and study abroad partners that universities have, because as a student, life has a way of sort of happening. So as a student, you typically don't have as many responsibilities as you do once you graduate, which means that traveling internationally and studying internationally is some of the most affordable travel that you might be able to ever do. Even if it's not for a full degree, there are options for summer study abroad programs, semester study abroad programs, full year abroad programs. So just go somewhere, anywhere, just leave the US.
I really like Christian's point about going and seeing the universities, because I think that's super important. I give campus tours all the time, and I didn't tour LMU before I went there because I thought I knew everything I needed to know about it because I was really close to the campus, but you really just don't know until you're on campus. So I think you should go out there, see what it's like when you're there, talk to some of the faculty members. You want a friendly face whenever you go to school. And as a extra tip, make an email that is dedicated to the schools that you are applying for. Because we all have a junk email where everything gets lost and you're going to miss the important stuff. So make a school email.
Absolutely seconding Roxanne on the email part. Please do that. It will help you so much in the long run. But another thing to keep in mind is that as admission staff members, we know a ton about the universities and colleges that we work at, but no one knows it better than the current students. So if your admissions office has like student employees, if you go on a tour and you're with a tour guide, ask them a lot of questions about what it's like to go there now, because you're only a year or two away. It's not really going to change that much in that short period of time, but they can give you the lived experience that maybe some of us admissions counselors aren't able to give you. Like, I'm not an alumna of UMBC, but we will try our best, but connect with students too.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. Big thanks to all of our panelists for coming by today. So as we wrap up, I also want to thank you all. Thanks for joining us this evening. And just want to let you all know that when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey. It'll be a 5-question survey, and we'd really appreciate any feedback you can provide us for these sessions. Additionally, we have some additional sessions going on right now, so we encourage you to check back the schedule and sign up for more of those sessions. And you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/Virginia. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great rest of your evening.